What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, my name is AkeemHaynes. I'm a two-time Olympian, Olympic bronze medalist, author, motivational speaker, and sports commentator. On my channel, we talk boxing, MMA, track and field, and of course, motivation and encouraging content. If this is something that you enjoy, then I hope that you subscribe to the channel. Now, let's get into the video. Michel Rivera versus Frank Martin. This one is happening this weekend, 12-round fight. To me, this has the potential to be a fight of the year candidate for me personally. I think it's a very big fight for both of these men at this stage in their careers, right? Rivera's 24 and Martin is 27. Someone's perfect record is going to be over and done with, but whose? Let's get into it. Let's start with Michel Rivera. He's coming this one with a record of 24 wins, no losses, 14 wins by way of knockout. In his last 6 fights, he's won 3 by knockout, 3 by decision. His toughest fight to me came in his last fight against Joseph Adorno. Adorno, who's been in there with Jermaine Ortiz, who I think is an underrated boxer, as we saw his performance against Vasily Lomachenko, but I like Rivera. He's very skilled, good foundational boxer, good stiff jab, quick fast hand, good combination puncher, pretty accurate puncher. He doesn't sit down his punches all the time, but when he does, you must feel it because you can definitely hear it. It's a good body puncher and a good counter puncher. Once you let him control the tempo of the fight and control the pace inside of the ring, he's going to have his way with his long reach, his hand speed. He can pick his shots at a high rate fighting on the outside. I wouldn't say he's the best inside fighter, right? But his strength is when he can slip in and slip out and let his skills do the talking, let his hands do the work. And it's only a matter of time once he gets comfortable until he starts to break you down with punishing, accurate shots. Going back to his fight against Adorno, he was the more sharper, busier, and more accurate fighter in that one. He looked really good in that fight offensively. Now, Adorno still had some good moments and countered him and had him wobbly slightly for a little bit before he got himself back into it, right? Now, defensively, there are some things that Rivera, I would like to see him get a little better as. Oftentimes, when he's getting off his combinations, he stands right there and doesn't move, right? Now, he's still growing and developing, but when you are in there against the elite guys and you look at the elite fighters, right? They can throw their combinations, get off the punches that they need, and then slip out the way or back away so they don't get clipped as they're coming in out of their attack, right? So that's when he doesn't intend to get caught, when he's just standing there throwing his shots and not moving when he needs to. But he's skilled and quick enough to not make those mistakes. He's fundamentally sound and does a lot of very good things inside the ring. The talent is there. The skill and the tools are all there. I think this fight is going to say a lot about him mentally, right? We know he's got the physical tools, but this is going to be a mentally tough, challenging fight because Frank Martin thinks he's the next guy in that division. He'll be looking to make a statement, but so will Rivera. Let's talk about his opponent, Frank Martin. He's coming to this one with a record of 16 wins, no losses, 12 wins by way of knockout. In his last 6 fights, he's gotten 5 of those wins by way of knockout. Just as I said how much I like Rivera, man, I really like Martin as well, too. He's technically sound, calculated, accurate, patient with the shots in his approach, and that all goes well together with his natural athleticism. He's still improving, but this is a guy who is operating at a high level inside of the ring, and he knows how to close out the show and get the stoppage when his opponents are hurt. Derrick James, he's got some really good fighters inside his camp, and this is one of those guys that he's done a very great job with because he's got all of the intangible skills. In his last fight against Jackson Marinez, I did a breakdown of that fight, and prior to that fight, a lot of people were saying, man, Marinez is going to have his way. Marinez, if he does lose, is not going to lose by stoppage. He's going to go the distance and get the decision on points. And while you never know how a fight is going to unfold, I didn't feel like he was going to go the distance. And I thought Frank Martin was going to win that fight by stoppage, and he did. Now, Marinez is a very good fighter, but very few people can handle the type of pressure that was being put forth on him every single round by Martin, right? In that fight, Frank Martin, he looked extremely sharp, accurate, and powerful. The angles he was taking to get around Marinez, to get his shots off, was beautiful display of footwork. He put forth 3-piece, 4-piece combinations at will, and he looked very well conditioned in that fight. And this is also a guy that doesn't neglect the body. He mixes up his attacks very well. right? He targets every part of the body with power and accuracy. He and Spence, they have some similar movements inside the ring. They push their opponents around to where they want them to be and how they get around you. Both hands are equally strong at will. In his fight against Ryan Kulwiski, I believe that's how you pronounce his last name, he didn't get the stoppage in that fight, but he dominated that fight from start to finish, right? Every round you got to see a different side of Frank Martin, of him offensively, right? The offensive weaponry that man put on display was at work in that fight. You should definitely go and check that fight out if you have not seen that fight yet. But Frank Martin, very good fighter. One thing I like about him as well, too, is how he calculates his energy, right? Some shots he doesn't throw to hurt you. It doesn't throw with a lot of force behind it. Some of the shots he's throwing, they're the shots to get you off of him or to back you up as he's setting up another shot, right? So it's one thing to go hard every single round. Not everybody can do that. Not every fighter is well conditioned to that level, right? So there are certain times when you have to take a rounder or two off so you can put forth more energy towards the championship round. But man, he knows how to do that and maneuvers that very well in his fight. So who wins? Both of these men are going to try and prove themselves even more in this fight. They both have similar skills, quick hands, good movement, and good hand speed, but both solid foundations of their technique in their own rights in different ways, right? I think it's going to be a chess match at the beginning before it starts to heat up. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think either of these men have been in a 12-round fight just yet. So it'll be interesting to see how they handle the championship rounds if it does go that far. But I'm taking Frank Martin by decision. If the stoppage does come, I think it comes in the 8th to the 9th, 10th round or so. I just think Martin can do more than Rivera, especially on the inside. And I think Frank Martin is also more powerful as well. And I think this weekend he gets the job done. But I think it's both going to be a brilliant display of skills from both of these fighters because they are both talented. How do you think this fight goes? Let me know in the comment section below. If you would like to support the channel, there's a couple ways that you can do so. You can like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you'd like to support by way of donation, you can find options in the description below. Also, my Cash App handle will be on screen as well. Any amount goes towards the growth of this channel and will be greatly, greatly appreciated. Big shout out to Super Dave for the generous donation on Cash App the other day over the weekend. Much appreciated, my brother. It truly does mean a lot. Your support means a lot. So with all that being said, if you've been watching the video this long, then do me a favor and subscribe to the channel, and we'll definitely see you next time.